Bobby Hurley, Sean Miller stay cool amid heat of Arizona State rivalry, Tempe, Arizona. First things first, let's get one thing absolutely clear. Arizona coach Sean Miller does not hate Arizona State coach Bobby Hurley, and Hurley does not hate Miller. This might surprise people who have seen Hurley's post-game locker room speech following ASU's win over Colorado last January. That night, Hurley told his players, in a moment caught on camera, if anyone want to win here, in this state, they better go to Tucson. In the following weeks, Hurley explained that comment wasn't targeted at Arizona. Miller brushed the incident aside, telling reporters he understood Hurley was merely trying to motivate his team. When the teams played in Tucson a week later, the Wildcats led start to finish in a 91-75 win, at one point leading 42-18. Bracketology, assessing dark horses that could be number 1 seeds all access, living 4 days on the bubble with Mississippi State. Miller, in his 9th year at Arizona, and Hurley have known each other for decades. They were teammates on the USA basketball team that won the 1991 World University Games. Playing together while representing your country forever bonds you, Miller says. But their awareness of each other started even before that. An early childhood memory, of mine, was seeing Sean on the Johnny Carson show doing all his tricks and the ball handling, Hurley recalled, laughing. He was a little older than me, but I remember being like, man, I've gotta start practicing. The coaches meet Thursday for the second time this season. Hurley, in his 3rd year with ASU, has never beat Arizona. The Wildcats won the first desert battle, 84-78, in Tucson. But their teams are in remarkably different shape compared to the first meeting on December 30, 2016. Number 19 Arizona, a preseason favorite to reach its first Final Four since 2001, and what would be its first under Miller, is in contention for its 16th regular season title, but has had a rough couple of weeks. The Wildcats, 26-10-3 in the Pac-12, lost on a last-second shot at Washington on February 3, and played from behind almost the entire game before falling to unranked UCLA 82-74 last week in Tucson. And yet, Arizona still has a 2-game lead in the conference and on Sunday earned a number 4 seed in the NCAA Selection Committee's Top 16 bracket reveal. No team in the West, including Gonzaga, which is ranked 11 spots higher in USA Today Sports Coaches poll and thumped number 15 St. Mary's on the road over the weekend, was awarded a better seed. Though Arizona struggles with consistency, this is the Wildcats team, led by freshman Phenom Andraden, that everyone expected in September. And they've got time to figure out the kinks before March Madness hits. It's been rougher for Arizona State. Once the hottest team in college basketball, number 22 ASU has stumbled significantly in conference play. The Sun Devils, 19-6, 7-6, came into the December 30th meeting riding a 12-game win streak and boasting the biggest non-conference wins in the country with victories over Xavier and Kansas. Then conference play hit, the Sun Devils went cold from the outside and opposing teams realized slowing ASU was key to beating them. When Colorado beat then number 4 Arizona State in Boulder 90-81 and on January 4, fans rushed the floor in celebration, a bizarre situation for a team recently considered a relatively easy win. It was a fairy tale the first 12 games, but we went through a rough stretch, Hurley said. To see us get court stormed. That was eye-opening for our guys. We had a rough stretch, lost some close games and learned more about ourselves. Now we're on pretty solid footing. So where does this leave the coaches? Miller and Hurley are from remarkably similar backgrounds. Both are sons of legendary basketball coaches. John Miller coached high school basketball for 35 years in Pennsylvania, winning 4 state championships and totaling 657 wins before retiring in 2004. Sean Miller said his dad now coaches all-girls basketball, and loves it. Bob Hurley, Sr. is in the Basketball Hall of Fame after winning 1,151 games and 27 New Jersey State championships in 44 seasons. Both have credited their fathers for inspiring them to get into coaching, and both were known as fiery point guards, Miller at Pittsburgh, Hurley at Duke, in their playing days. "We grew up in almost identical households," Miller said. "But he was in the city, and I was in the country." And while both acknowledge that yes, there's a rivalry between their schools, they consider one another friends, not enemies. "I would categorize it like this: I know I'm a coach at Arizona, and understand the importance of it to fan bases, to universities," Miller said. "But above and beyond that, I don't know how healthy it is for anyone to make it personal. There's a bigger picture to all this, and I think the older you get, the more you learn that there's likely no catching up with or topping 35 years of tradition, an advantage Arizona will always have. And while comparisons are inevitable, no one sees the rivalry as a reason to pit coach against coach." Miller is quick to point out that Arizona State's non-conference success and RPI, 25, have helped lift the Pac-12 as a whole, which should result in 4 teams making the NCAA tournament. Beating the Sun Devils used to be a no-win situation for Arizona, and pundits would brush the victory aside, saying that of course Arizona should take the game. Lose and the bottom could fall out. Now, us beating Arizona actually wouldn't be that much of an upset. "There's no hate or disrespect," said Sun Devils guard Triholder. "There's just a belief in both locker rooms that no team is going to come into the state and walk away with an easy win." Images from the week in college basketball.